New designs just dropped on donutmedia.com, and here's a little secret for you. This one comes in purple. Watch the rest of this video because it's lit. It's a very good video. What is the most powerful car from every car company? Today we're gonna look at over 100 car companies because we don't learn our lesson and see who makes the burliest, beefiest car on the road. I'm James. Welcome to Donut.
Working on your car is always better with a little music in your ears. That's why I'm using today's sponsor, Raycon. Their wireless earbuds, headphones, and speakers offer premium sound, incredible features, and up to 54 hours of battery life. Plus, they feature an almost custom fit and stay comfortably in your ears even when you're listening to music. This holiday season, when you're looking for a gift that everyone needs, Raycons are the way to go. And as the person gifting them, you're gonna love the fact that they start at half the price of those other premium audio brands.
So click the link below or go to buyraycon.com/donut and use code EARLYBF to get 20% off site-wide.
Or just knock out your whole list at once and get 30% off by shopping Raycon's exclusive holiday bundles like the awesome Best Buds bundle. Dude, Best Buds, get it? There will also be different deals coming throughout the season, so keep an eye on buyraycon.com/donut to get the best deals available on Raycons.
Kicking this list off is the most powerful car made by a car company that doesn't exist from a country that doesn't exist. I'm talking about Yugo. The most powerful version they made was the GVX. It had a monstrous 1.3 liter four-banger that made a whopping, earth-shattering 61 horsepower. I want to let you guys know this right off the bat. There are no rules to this list. Some of these companies don't exist anymore. Because why would we have any sort of consistency or anything? But our next car has a little bit more power. That's how this list works. Another company that doesn't exist, DeLorean. The DMC-12 featured the infamous PERV V6 engine. These bad boys made more than twice the horsepower of the Yugo at 130. That's too much power for me. I gotta take a breather. Sorry, hang on. I've just been informed that we still have about 100 cars left, so I can't take a break, especially after 2 cars. The next most powerful car company is Smart Car. The 4.4, you guys, our audience hates this car, guys. I'm the one on camera, you fucks. The 4.4 Brabus edition. You guys love this car. It's also the most expensive smart car ever made, so it's no surprise that it puts down a dyno-crushing 137 horsepower. Let me know in the comments if you want me to include the Brabus Smart Car in every video on this channel. How much are they? We should get a Brabus smart car and a Aston Martin smart car, and I'll drive it off track backwards. Then we've got Geo, which doesn't exist anymore. The most powerful Geo ever was the Storm GSI, and oh, did it live up to its name, making a Category 5 inducing 140 ponies. Everyone's favorite Romanian car company, Dacia, is up next. Their strongest steed is the Duster TSE, clocking in at a nice round 150 horsepower. Next car is from India, go Hoosiers. Tata makes a bunch of economy cars, the least anemic of them being the Harrier, named after my favorite vertical takeoff jet. This land plane makes a blistering 168 horsepower. I guess now is as good a time to mention the tiny Scorpion car. Yeah, I'm talking about that dang old A-bar. Their most powerful car is also their fastest, which is the 695 Biposto Record. It gets the old meatballs spinning hard, boy, thanks to 190 horsepower under that tiny little hood. And now, a huge milestone. Hello, Dr. Mayer. We finally hit 200 horsepower. Just imagine 200 beautiful, glorious horses galloping through the desert. Yeah, I'll see you in the desert this weekend for the big barbecue. The first car on this list to hit 200 horsepower is, of course, we all know the answer. It's the Mahindra Scorpio N, not the Mahindra Scorpion. That would make too much sense. The Scorpio N makes a clean 200 horsepower. If you rearrange the letters in Scorpion N, you get Scion FRS. Follow the money, which is conveniently the next car on this list. The FRS was Scion's most powerful car, also at 200 horsepower. Then you got Daihatsu. Their Atlas G E4, which is a rebadged Camry, is their most powerful model at 215 horsepower. Moving on to Isuzu. The 1999 Trooper makes 215 horses. This next car is from France, and no, I'm not talking about a mime car. And I'm not even talking about a cheese car, unless you're a mime made out of cheese who lives in a Citroen. Now, if you go to a Citroen dealership in Paris, France, and ask them for their most powerful car, they will pretend that they're stuck in a clear box, and they'll point you in the direction of the C5 V6 HDI 240 bi-turbo Fat. The point is all they're due because they're all mimes and they love bread. The Fat makes 238 chevaux, which is French for horse. Did you know that Daewoo doesn't just make microwaves? They also make cars. Turns out they made a big honker VIP car for hotshot Korean execs called the LX4, 258 horsepower. And for all you jerks out there who are saying I'm just reading an Excel sheet, yeah, so what? But I'm also doing jokes. Fiat is next on this list with the Fremont Code Black. If you're like, that doesn't look like no Fiat I've ever seen, well then you're in good company. Bradley Cooper said the same thing in an interview. He was like, you know, honestly, I've been nominated for 7 Oscars, and that is unlike any Fiat I have ever seen. And then the interviewer walked away and he goes, hey. And then they turned around and he was like, I just want to look at you again. And they were like, the Fremont is a foreign market crossover that's really just a rebadged Dodge Journey. And if you're wondering, what's a Dodge Journey? Well, since they announced that they're not making Chargers and Challengers anymore, I guess it's one of the only Dodges you can buy now. And with the help of a Pentastar V6, this American and Italian close makes 283 horsepower. Now, I bet you didn't think this far in the list you'd see Saturn, another dead company, pop up, but here we are. The 2010 Outlook XR is the most powerful Saturn ever made. It makes 288 space ponies. After that comes everyone's favorite Czech auto manufacturer, Skoda. Their most vascular model is the Enyaq Coupe RS, either IV or 4, making 295 electric coupes here, dude. And that brings us to another French company. I'm talking about Chef Boyardee. I'm talking about Renault. If you're lucky enough to get your buttery little fingers on the Megane RS Trophy R, you'll get to enjoy all 296 horsepower of it. This car actually held the record for fastest lap at the Nürburgring in a front-wheel drive car, so Sacre Bleu. Yet another French company comes in next. I'm talking about Alpine and their most powerful model, the 2021 110S. This car has the same engine as the Megane RS, but it makes 4 more horsepower. Hold on. Hello, Senator Doctor? Yeah, we've made it to 300. Schedule the parade. Okay, I'll see you in the desert with the other guy for the big barbecue with the horses. Then comes the most powerful Mini, the John Cooper Verks Mini Cooper GP, making 302 horsepower. Then there's Suzuki and their Across 2.5 E4, also 302 horsepower. Now, how much power do you think the most powerful Honda makes? If you get 69 horsepower, you're way off. And also, grow up. Why did you guess that? Because it's funny? Okay, yeah, it is funny. I'll let it slide this time. But the most powerful car Honda has ever made is the 2023 Civic Type R at 326 beautiful Japanese ponies. The most vascular Mazda on the list is not the Miata because the Miata is dinky and slow. It's actually the CX-60, which makes 323 horsepower. Coincidentally, the Mazda 323 makes 60 horsepower. The first boxer engine on this list is none other than the Subaru Plume Machine. The 2019 WRX STI S209 at 341 horsepower. De Tomaso, a company that's dead, but also not, kind of, but probably not real, saw what they were doing over at Subaru, and they said, not today, Subaru. So they made the 1990 Pantera GT5S, 345 horsepower. Peugeot's most powerful model is the 508 PSE, which has a hybrid drivetrain of a 1.6 liter 4-banger paired up with 2 electric motors. It makes 355 horsepower, and in case you're wondering if this is the last French car on the list, the answer is no. Let me ask you one question. When do you think Buick made their most powerful model? Was it when they were still a car company? Are they still? I guess. Was it in the last last 10 years, or maybe in the 80s with the GNX. Think again, dirtbag. Their most powerful car was actually the 1971 Skylark GS 455, and it features, you guessed it, a 455 cubic inch big block engine which pumps out 360 horsepower and about 200 more pound-feet of torque. And then there's Morgan. They make the Plus 8 GTR, 375 horsepower, but good luck getting your buttery fingers on this hog. They only made 9 of them, dirtbag. Saab, you know that other dead car company? Their butteriest hog is the 97X Aero, only you won't find any Swedish parts in this SUV. It's a rebadged Trailblazer SS, complete with an LS V8 making 390 horsepower. Put that on your meatballs. The next most powerful company is Spanish, and I never really know how to pronounce their name. I think it's Seat. They produce the Cupra VZ5, which is their most powerful model, 390 horsepower. Big shout out to the owner of this next company, my guy, Jupe Donkervert. What up, Jupe? How's the family? Oh yeah? Crazy. That bad? The Donkervert D8 GTO JD70 is the most powerful Donkervert ever made. 415 horsepower. Next is the 2009 Pontiac G8 GXP with only 415 horsepower. Genesis makes the top of the line G90, which produces a very tokeable 420 horse nugs. Infiniti is like, we're also chill, and they came out with the Q7L 5.6 all-wheel drive with 420 horses to prove it. You can find them both behind the gym, ripping dubs and skipping class. The second Swedish car company on this list is Volvo. The most powerful car they make is the XC90 T8, a hybrid developed by their Polestar division. Combined gas and electric motors make 421 mules, which is a hybrid between a horse and an electric motor. A zonkey is a hybrid between a zebra and a donkey, and it's my third favorite animal. I'd love to put one on the dyno and find out how much horsepower it makes. If you have a zonkey, please email me at mrsharrystyles.com. Mrs. spelled out. But 421 isn't as much as the next car on the list, if you haven't figured that out yet. I keep telling you, this is how the list works, but you don't listen. The next car on this list is Hyundai. Their most powerful car is still the 2013 Genesis with the 5-liter V8. It makes 424 horsepower. Plymouth was like, guys, we don't exist anymore. And also, we can't let Hyundai beat us. We're Plymouth. So back in the 70s, they made the 1970 Hemi Cuda. The 426 cubic inch V8 pushes out 425 horsepower. You couldn't eke out one more horsepower and match the power to the engine size? Come on, Plymouth! Did you think that was digital? Next up is Plymouth's biggest rival. Yup, Toyota. Now you'd probably think their most powerful car was the Prius, but you'd be dead wrong. It's actually the 2018 Century. This VIP president car makes 425 equine gabagools, which is illegal. Not allowed to eat horse meat. If you live in America, you can't eat horse meat. Now, you may know Mitsubishi as that air conditioner brand, but they also make cars, kind of fast ones too, such as the Lancer Evo X FQ 440 MR Mister. It makes 440 horsepower, just like the name says. Take a note, Plymouth. Volkswagen has entered the chat. Technically, the most powerful car that they've ever made was the Nardo concept with the W12 engine that made 591 horsepower. But since we're not including concept cars on this list, we're gonna have to make do with the Touareg R. Yeah, a big old SUV. The 3-liter V6 makes an impressive 456 horsepower. But that's not nearly as much as the most powerful Lancia on the list. The 1985 Delta S4 made 480 horsepower out of a 1.8-liter inline-4 that was twin-charged, meaning it had a turbocharger and a supercharger. It's absolutely insane. Are you cruding me? Get that crud out of my face. And now we're moving from 1985 to 2023, from Italy to America. That's what I call breaking the space-time continuum. The most powerful Chrysler ever made is the last edition of the 300C, AKA the teenage father who's also a drug dealer. The last version has a 6.4-liter Hemi making a whopping 485 horsepower. Lincoln, which does exist? Lincoln's most powerful car is the Aviator Black Label Grand Touring Edition, making 494 horsepower. And now, finally, hello, King Principal. We're at 500 horsepower. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Release the prisoners. we're finally here. We've reached 500 horsepower, and we're not even halfway through this dang list. They won't let me go. In other words, more than half of all car companies make cars with more than 500 horsepower, and 500 is way more than most people need. I only need 478. But that brings us to our first car on this list to hit 500 horsepower, and it's very dangerous, and I wouldn't drive one. It's the Ariel Atom V8. I don't know what people are thinking. Another weird British roadster is next. The most powerful Caterham is the Super 7 RST V8 Levant, whipping out 500 horsepower's worth of sauce as well. Now we got a decent sized jump thanks to Alfa Romeo. Thank you. Their Giulia GTA-M puts down a respectable 533 horsepower. But that isn't enough power, baby, for little baby Jamesy boy. I need more power, baby. I need the Karma Rivero GT Sport and all of its 536 horses. Now this next car is our first V10 on this list, and it's also the most powerful Lexus. You already know where I'm going with this. The LFA. It lays down 552 whole horse eggs. They lay 300 eggs, and then they hatch in the bank of a river, and those are seahorses, and then they grow into horses. If you want to learn more about that, check out my zoology channel, Kibble Media. After that, you got Land Rover with the Range Rover Sport SVR, which makes 575 horsepower, but it's not the most powerful SUV on this list. Believe it or not, Kia has everything else so far beat. Their burliest beast is the EV6 GT. The electric drivetrain lays down 576 electric horses. Talk about killing it. Things are heating up. Started getting into rebadged Holden Commodore territory. Now, if you've seen any of the other lists, you know that about 100 different cars are rebadged Holden Commodore. This one is no different. The Vauxhall VX R8 GTS-R makes 587 horses. Then there's Jaguar, named after a big cat. Their most powerful car is the XESV Project 8 at 592 HP sauce, followed closely by Acura in the 2022 NSX Type S, which puts down an impressively around 600 horsepower. You know what else has 600 horsepower? Well, since you asked, the Alpina B7 X-Drive and the Mosler MT900S. You're welcome! Now, that's not as much as the Polestar 1 Special Edition, which makes 619 horsepower. This next car is everyone's favorite Dutch car. Sorry, Jupe. You know you're my guy. I love you and I'm sorry. But I just think the Spyker C812S and its 620 horsepower are just a little bit higher than the Dunkervert. Sorry, dude. Maserati's next on the list, the MC12 Strado. You think Jupe is mad at me? I hope I didn't hurt his feelings. Jupe, pick up the phone. Pick up the phone, Jupe. Sorry, Jupe. Anyway, the 2006 Maserati MC12 Stradale makes 623 horsepower. Rolls-Royce Wraith, 624. BMW M5 CS, 627. Holden HSV GTS-R W1. Too many letters, 636 horsepower. Audi RS e-tron GT, 637 horsepower. You guys keeping up? You writing these down? You taking notes? There will be a quiz. Things aren't even crazy yet. We're about to see numbers that you've never even heard of. Maybach's next. Their most powerful car they ever made was the 62 Zeppelin, which had a big old twin-turbo V12 making 640 horsepower. Then there's Noble and their M600, which is a modest name because it actually puts down 650 English ponies. And I'm not talking about mini ones. I'm talking about big old ones, the ones that they chase the foxes with from Downtown Abbey. Oh, hey, what's up? Gordon Murray's here. His most powerful car is the T50, 654 horsepower. Next is Cadillac. The CT5V Blackwing makes 668 horsepower. Drum roll, please. This next car is the one you've all been waiting for. It's literally every comment. James, why don't you talk about this car? Well, here you go. Weissman is the next car company on the list with Project Thunderball. The electric drivetrain makes 680 horsepower and 808 pound-feet of torque. And now we're in Hellcat country. The least powerful Hellcat engine comes in Ram's most powerful truck, the TRX Sandblast Edition, 702 horsepower. We drove the Hennessy version of this truck, which made over 1,000 horsepower, and it turned Max into a complete psychopath. All All right, we'll talk more about Hennessy later. The next car on this list also has a Hellcat engine, the Jeep Trackhawk, 707 horsepower. Then comes Nissan with the GT R50, 720 horsepower. Bentley Batur, 729 horsepower. Chevy C7 Corvette ZR1, 755 horsepower. Then comes Roof. It's not rough, it's Roof, but it's rough trying to pay for a Roof. I talked to the son of the guy who started this company. He told me that the most powerful car is the Roof CT R3 Club Sport, which makes a cool 777 horsepower. The most powerful Ford ever made is the 2022 Mustang Shelby GT500 Signature Edition. Shelby Signature gives it an extra 60 horsepower, putting it at a nice solid 800. Now it's insane to think that our first 800 horsepower car on this list, and we still have a bunch of cars left. What world do we live in? TVR, aka Trev Car, Cerberus Speed 12, 800 horsepower, Lamborghini Machine Sion FK P37, 808 horsepower. Gani Huayra Imola, 827 horsepower. Rivian R1T Max Quad Motor, 835 horsepower. Dodge Challenger Demon, 840 horsepower. Porsche 918 Spyder, 875 horsepower. Hello, sir. That's a wrap on the 800 horsepower range. It's getting fast and loose from here, okay? So you tell my wife that I love her, and you give my son a big old smooch on the forehead for me. It's about to get loco. Brabus Rocket 900, the first 900 horsepower car on this list. Ferrari SF90 Stradivari coming in hot at 986 horsepower. Then you got the Hummer EV, the first car on this list to officially break 1,000 horsepower, and the first and only car on this list that can crab walk. This other electric car company has Hummer beat. You ever heard of Tesla? I don't believe you. It's literally impossible that you haven't. The most powerful Tesla you can buy is the Model S Plaid. 1,020 electric horses. Next is McLaren. Their Speedtail clocks in at 1,036 horsepower. I have two of them. Street parked. Right above that is the Mercedes AMG 1 with an insane 1,049 fighter starkers. Maybe the coolest sounding car on this list, and also one of the most powerful, the Lucid Air Dream Edition. Performance puts down 1,111 horsepower. 1111, make a wish. Then there's Aston Martin. The Valkyrie is the top of the top with 1,160 horsepower. Zenvo TSR-S, 1,177 horsepower. Ultima RS, 1,200 horsepower. Rezvani Hercules 6x6, 1,300 horsepower, and it has 6 wheels. Then we've got the Shelby Mustang GT500 Code Red Edition, also 1,300 horsepower. This isn't normal, okay? Celine S7 LM, 1,500 horsepower. Now you may know Bugatti as the maker of hookahs, electric razors, and toothbrushes, but you probably didn't know they also make cars too. Their Chiron Super Sport 300 Plus puts down a nauseating 1,580 horsepower. It's gonna make me freaking yuck. Coming in at 6th place is the Koenigsegg Jesko Absolute, named after a vodka company, putting out a belly-tickling 1,603 horsepower. It means there are 5 companies, which makes cars more powerful than Koenigsegg, which is crazy. The next one is again made by a guy named Jared Shelby, no relation to Carroll Shelby, the SSC Tuatara. The street legal model makes 1,750 horsepower on E85. This next car on the list is a supercar made by a little company from Texas by the name of John Hennessy Motorsports Ltd. We talked about the Mammoth 1000 earlier, but that's not even close to the most powerful car they make. That title goes to the Venom F5, which makes 1,817 horsepower and was built to go 300 miles per hour. Why do you need to go that far in and out? Just leave earlier. Kicking off the top 3 most powerful cars on this list are the Pininfarina Battista, named after the wrestler Dave Bautista. Pininfarina has always pushed the envelope with design, but the Battista is on a whole nother level. It makes 1,900 instantaneous horses with the help of some of Rimac tech. Speaking of Rimac, they're next on this list with the Nevera. As in, Nevera forget that Rimac is next on this list. Mate Rimac started this electric car company as a hobby back in the 2000s, and now they're making some of the sickest, fastest cars in the world, like the Navera, which makes a back crud insane 1,914 horsepower. I love Dave Navera. Dave Bautista, Dave Navera, follow the money. But somehow that's not as powerful as our #1 car on this godforsaken list. I can't even talk no more. We've made it. We finally made it to the end. The #1 spot on this list goes to a company known for making small, lightweight roadsters. The founder's mantra was simplify, then add lightness. Talking about the Lotus Evija, a $2.3 million EV hypercar. Lotus claims it's the world's most powerful production car with 1,972 horsepower. I'm not gonna argue with them. I can't afford the phone bills to call to Europe. And no, I'm not including fake supercars on this list, so for now, the Lotus is #1. Thank you for watching this video and everything else on Donut. Hit the subscribe button to make sure you don't miss anything. Go to donutmedia.com if you want to buy any merch, including this hat. That's real mechanic stuff. Watch high-low. Peace.